We're talking about this seminar happening tomorrow, February 2nd.
Can't miss it.
It's called How Can the Religious Be Pilgrims of Hope in the Digital Era?
Catchy, right.
Definitely grabs your attention.
And the title is just the beginning.
We were lucky enough to get a sneak peek at the material.
Led by the one and only Father Wilson, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be amazing.
So we thought we'd share some of the highlights.
Give you a taste of what to expect.
So if you're even remotely interested in how faith and tech are intersecting these days,
This deep dive is for you.
because honestly, who isn't thinking about that these days?
Seriously, it's like everywhere you look.
All right, so the document we have,
It starts by really digging into this idea of hope,
what does it actually mean?
especially in today's world.
And it's not just some fluffy feel-good concept.
No, it's much deeper than that.
The document actually pulls from some pretty powerful sources.
Like going all the way back to the Bible.
Romans 15.13 talks about hope as this incredible gift.
A gift from God that fills us with, get this, joy and peace.
And even earlier, the Old Testament, Isaiah.
Isaiah 40.31.
Yeah, that one talks about hope as a strength.
A strength that helps us, overcome challenges.
Rise above them, soar even.
So we're talking about strength, joy, peace.
Powerful stuff, right?
Definitely something we could all use a little more of these days.
Especially online, with all the chaos and negativity.
Okay, but I'm curious.
Sure.
How does this ancient concept of pilgrimage, like a physical journey to some sacred place,
Right.
how does that fit into the digital age?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Lay it on me.
So think about it this way.
Okay.
A pilgrimage is all about journeying towards something meaningful.
Makes sense.
In the past, yeah, it was usually a physical trip.
Like walking miles and miles.
Exactly. But in the digital age, it takes on a new meaning.
So what are we journeying toward online?
It's about navigating this new digital landscape.
The internet, social media, all of that.
And it's not just about consuming information.
Which, let's be real, we do a lot of.
It's about contributing something positive.
Adding to the good instead of the bad.
Exactly. It's like a mindset shift.
So less about reaching a destination.
And more about how we approach our online interactions.
The intention behind them.
You got it. And the document brings in some heavy hitters to back this up.
Who?
Recent popes like Benedict XVI and Pope Francis.
Both of them talk a lot about hope.
They've both emphasized how crucial hope is in our modern world.
Especially now, with everything going on.
Yeah, Pope Benedict was all about hope as an anchor.
An anchor in Christ.
Exactly. And Pope Francis.
He's all about building bridges.
Especially online.
Which is a pretty powerful image when you think about it.
Right. Like connecting with people who are different from us.
Bridging divides instead of creating them.
Exactly.
I'm already starting to see how this seminar is going to be mind-blowing.
Oh, it's going to be good.
It's not just about faith. It's about humanity.
It's about how we, as individuals, can use what we have.
The tools, technology.
To make the digital world, well, less terrible.
Maybe even a little bit better.
It definitely makes you rethink how you spend your time online.
No more mindless scrolling for me.
Maybe just a little less.
Okay, so we've got this foundation of hope.
We've got this idea of a digital pilgrimage.
But let's face it,
What?
the internet can be a pretty dark place sometimes.
Oh, yeah. No sugarcoating there.
So how does this seminar address that?
That's what's so great about this material.
What do you mean?
It doesn't shy away from the challenges.
Okay.
It dives right into the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay. So walk me through it.
All right, so the document highlights some of the major pitfalls of the digital world.
Hit me with them.
Okay, so first up, we've got the spread of misinformation.
Which is just out of control these days.
It's everywhere.
Then there's the risk of digital addiction.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
It's so easy to get sucked in.
Like hours can go by and you don't even realize it.
And then there's the danger of losing touch with reality.
When your online life starts to feel more real than your actual life.
That's scary.
It is, and it's something we need to be aware of.
So what's the solution?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
And I'm guessing Father Wilson has some answers.
Oh, he definitely does.
I can't wait to hear them.
Me too.
So we've got the good, the bad, and the downright scary.
The full spectrum of the digital landscape.
But what about the hope?
Yes, back to that.
How does the seminar talk about bringing hope to this complex world?
This is where it gets really exciting.
Tell me more.
So, get this. The document actually lays out 230 examples.
Wait, 230?
230.
Of what?
of how religious communities are already putting hope into action online.
No way.
Way.
Okay, we definitely don't have time to go through all of them.
Not even close.
But can you give us a few highlights?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what are some of the most creative, surprising things people are doing?
All right, so we've got live-streamed daily masses,
Makes sense.
online support groups for all sorts of causes.
Really? Like what?
Everything, grief support, addiction recovery, you name it.
Wow.
And get this, virtual confession preparation.
Virtual confession prep.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's wild.
And they even have things like virtual convent tours.
Hold on. You can virtually tour a convent.
Apparently so.
Sign me up.
Right.
These examples are blowing my mind.
They're pretty amazing.
I mean, who knew technology could be used for so much good?
Right. It's not all doom and gloom.
It's like a whole new world of possibilities opening up.
Exactly. And that's just scratching the surface.
So what else can we expect from Father Wilson's seminar?
Well, he's known for being able to connect ancient wisdom with modern challenges.
He seems like the perfect person to tackle this topic.
I'm really interested to hear what he has to say about finding balance in our digital lives.
You know, embracing the good without getting lost in the noise.
It's a tightrope walk, for sure.
And one I'm definitely struggling with.
Me too.
Yeah.
But that's why this seminar is so timely.
It's like a wake-up call.
A reminder that we have the power to choose how we engage with technology.
We don't have to be passive consumers.
We can be agents of hope in the digital age.
I love that.
Me too.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
but this is just the beginning,
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive.
where we'll delve even deeper into Father Wilsey's incredible insights.
Can't wait.
Me neither. All right, so we just scratched the surface of this whole Pilgrims of Hope thing,
Barely even dipped our toes in.
but it's already got me thinking differently
About what?
about how I use technology. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's easy to get caught up in the negativity.
All the doom scrolling.
But this seminar, this document we're looking at,
It's like a breath of fresh air.
it's reminding me that technology can be a force for good.
It can be. It really can.
And it's not just about wishful thinking.
No, it's about action.
It's about taking those good intentions and actually doing something with them.
Putting them into practice.
Exactly. And the document gives us some concrete ways to do that.
Like what?
Well, one thing that really jumped out at me was this idea of being a steward of truth.
Ooh, that's a good one.
With all the misinformation flying around these days,
It's a wildfire.
we have a responsibility to be careful about what we consume.
And even more careful about what we share.
It's like we're all publishers now, in a way.
We have an audience, even if it's just our friends and family.
So we need to be mindful of the information we're putting out there.
And it's not just about avoiding falsehoods.
It's about actively promoting truth.
Seeking out accurate information, reliable sources,
Fact-checking before we share something.
and being willing to engage in respectful dialogue, even with people we disagree with.
That's a tough one.
It is, but it's so important.
It's about building bridges instead of walls.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're being stewards of truth. Another key takeaway for me was this idea of ethical digital engagement.
Now that's a mouthful.
I know, but it's a really important concept.
Break it down for me.
Okay, so it's about being intentional with our technology use.
Not just mindlessly scrolling.
Making sure our online activity aligns with our values.
Our morals, our beliefs.
And making sure technology doesn't become a substitute for real-life connection.
Oh, that's a big one.
Because it's so easy to get sucked into the digital world.
And forget about the real world.
Spend hours on our phones.
Neglecting our relationships, our responsibilities.
And ending up feeling empty and disconnected.
Which is the opposite of what we want.
Exactly. So how do we avoid that?
The document talks about practicing digital moderation.
Moderation, that's the key.
It's about setting boundaries.
Like limiting our screen time.
Maybe having certain times of day when we don't use our devices.
Putting our phones away during meals.
Being present in the moment.
And it's not just about how much time we spend online.
It's about the quality of that time.
Are we using technology to connect with others in a meaningful way?
Or are we just wasting time?
Are we seeking out information that inspires and uplifts us?
Or are we just feeding our negativity bias?
It's about being mindful, making conscious choices,
Taking control of our digital lives?
instead of letting them control us.
Exactly.
And you know what else the document talks about?
What's that?
Disconnecting to connect.
Now that's an interesting one.
It's about recognizing that sometimes the best way to connect with ourselves, with others, and with something bigger than ourselves is to step away from our devices,
To unplug, to disconnect,
to get out into nature,
to have a face-to-face conversation.
to just be present in the moment.
without the distraction of technology.
Because sometimes that's what we need most.
A break from the digital noise.
To recharge, to reconnect, to remember what really matters.
And this is something Father Wilson talks about a lot.
He's a big believer in the power of silence and solitude.
And in finding balance in our lives.
It's not about rejecting technology altogether.
It's about using it wisely, intentionally, purposefully, as a tool to enhance our lives, not to detract from them.
Okay, so we're being stewards of truth, we're engaging ethically, we're practicing moderation, and we're disconnecting to connect.
That's a lot to remember.
It is, but it's all part of being a pilgrim of hope in the digital age.
It's about navigating this new landscape with intention, with purpose, with a desire to make a positive difference.
You know what? I'm starting to feel a little more hopeful already.
Me too.
Just thinking about all the possibilities, all the good that can be done.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is, and I can't wait to hear more from Father Wilson tomorrow.
Me neither.
Okay, so remember those 230 examples we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah, the ones that blew our minds.
Can we dive into a few more of those?
Absolutely.
I'm dying to hear about some of the most creative and inspiring ways people are bringing hope to the digital world.
All right, so one example that really stood out to me was using social media to share reflections on trending topics from a faith perspective.
Ooh, I like that.
It's like bringing a different lens to the conversation.
Injecting a little bit of spirituality and thoughtfulness into the online world.
Instead of just getting caught up in the drama and negativity.
It's about being a voice of reason, a voice of hope.
And, it doesn't have to be preachy or judgmental.
It can be gentle, compassionate, even humorous.
Just sharing your perspective, your insights, your beliefs.
In a way that invites others to think differently.
To see things from a new angle.
Okay, what else?
Another example that I found really interesting was creating online spaces for interfaith dialogue.
That's so important these days.
With all the division and polarization in the world.
It's more important than ever to build bridges between people of different faiths.
To foster understanding, respect, and tolerance.
And technology can be a powerful tool for that.
It can connect people from all over the world.
Create virtual spaces for dialogue and exchange.
Break down barriers and build relationships.
It's like taking that ancient idea of pilgrimage, that journey toward something meaningful, and applying it to the digital realm.
We're all pilgrims in a way, navigating this new landscape together.
And we need to support and encourage each other along the way.
Beautifully said.
So we're talking about sharing our faith perspective on social media.
We're talking about creating spaces for interfaith dialogue.
What else?
Well, the document also highlights the importance of using technology to meet people's practical needs,
Likewise.
offering online resources and support for people who are struggling.
Like those online support groups we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
Providing information and guidance on a variety of topics.
From mental health to financial literacy.
And even offering online counseling and spiritual direction.
It's about taking that traditional role of service and adapting it to the digital age.
Meeting people where they are.
Providing support and guidance in a way that's accessible and convenient.
Because not everyone can make it to a church or a community center.
But everyone has access to the internet.
And that's where we can make a real difference.
It's about using technology to extend our reach.
To connect with people who might not otherwise be reached.
To offer hope and support to those who need it most.
And it's not just about meeting practical needs.
It's about nurturing people's spirits.
Creating opportunities for spiritual growth and exploration.
Offering online retreats and workshops.
Sharing inspiring content and stories.
And even creating virtual spaces for prayer and meditation.
It's about bringing the richness and depth of our faith tradition to the digital world.
And making it accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any time.
You know, it's amazing to think about all the good that's already happening online.
It is.
And it's inspiring to think about all the possibilities that still exist.
The potential is limitless.
And I think this seminar is going to be a catalyst for even more innovation and creativity.
I think so too.
It's going to give people the tools and resources they need to take their digital ministry to the next level.
To make a real impact in the world.
To be true, pilgrims of hope in the digital age.
And that's something worth celebrating.
Absolutely. All right, we're back, and I'm still buzzing about all those amazing examples.
I know, right?
It's like I had no idea so much cool stuff was happening online.
It's easy to focus on the negative.
The trolls, the misinformation.
But there's a whole other side to the digital world.
A side that's full of hope and creativity.
And it's all about using technology to make a positive impact.
You know, before this deep dive, I thought digital evangelization meant like those cheesy church websites.
We've all seen them.
But the things Father Wilson's talking about,
It's a whole different ballgame.
it's engaging, it's relevant, it's even fun.
Like those virtual convent tours.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm still thinking about those.
Such a cool idea.
Who wouldn't want to peek inside a cloistered community?
It's like a glimpse into a hidden world.
And it's all thanks to technology.
You know what else I find fascinating?
What?
It's not just about broadcasting messages.
Like one-way communication,
It's about interaction.
two-way dialogue.
The document talks about all these online support groups,
Oh yeah, for everything from grief to addiction.
and they're all facilitated by religious communities.
So it's like taking that traditional role of offering support,
And translating it into the digital space.
where people are already looking for help.
Exactly. Meeting people where they are.
We talked about digital confession prep,
Mm-hmm.
but there are also things like interactive quizzes on Catholic doctrine,
Using humor and pop culture to make it more engaging.
which, let's be real, is way more appealing than a dry lecture.
Totally. And it speaks to how people learn online.
Through experience, through interaction.
The document even mentions online games that teach about different faiths.
Whoa, hold on. Games?
Yeah, imagine a game where you have to make ethical decisions.
From different religious viewpoints.
It's like a whole new level of interfaith dialogue.
That's incredible.
And it's just one example of how technology can be used to make faith more accessible.
Without watering it down.
There's this other example about using Instagram stories for daily prayer intentions.
So you're letting people into your personal spiritual practice.
It's about being vulnerable, being authentic.
And showing people that faith isn't this stuffy, outdated thing.
It's something that can be part of our everyday lives.
Even our online lives.
Exactly, and it's all about being intentional.
Not just randomly posting Bible verses on Twitter.
It's about thoughtfully using technology to spread hope,
To build connection.
to offer real support.
And that's what I'm so excited to hear more about from Father Wilson.
He's going to give us the tools we need to be better digital citizens.
I have no doubt about that.
This seminar is going to be life-changing.
It's not just for religious people either.
It's for anyone who wants to make a positive difference in the world.
So if you haven't already, clear your schedule for tomorrow.
February 2nd.
This is an opportunity to be part of something truly special.
To join a movement of people who are committed to using technology for good.
To spread hope and build a brighter future. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into how can the religious be pilgrims of hope in the digital era. We hope you found it as inspiring as we did.
And remember, even if you can't attend the seminar, you can still be a pilgrim of hope in your own digital life.
Start by choosing to be kind, to spread positivity, and to connect with others in meaningful ways.
Small acts of digital kindness can have a ripple effect.
So go out there and make a difference.